Again, skipping chapter 13 because you guys are not missing anything. Let me sum up. For some odd reason, Gohan won't talk to anybody about what happened during the Cell games. Don't know why. Apparently this is going to be a big emotional meeting. I just think it's going to be something that's going to cause me to hurt my head. And I'm frankly not here to just listen to Gohan talk to Mr. Satan about things that he could easily talk about like a normal person. So let's move on. Chapter 14. Seeing his son leave so harshly struck a chord deep within Goku. He felt confused and heartbroken. Never in his life had he experienced anything like this. The whole situation reminded surreal for him, was facilitating his need for more answers. He couldn't shake the suspicion there was more to the story, and he needed to find out what. Once the family made their way back to his house, he pulled his wife aside. Chi-Chi, can we talk? This whole entire thing feels so wrong somehow. Just wrong. The woman had just seen her eldest son leave home in a haste, and the person responsible for that was asking a conversation. She felt angered. Vic, this is Chi-Chi. She's always angry. At the moment, she did not want to even look at her husband. Again, what's the difference? You know, guys, when Goku said, I never kissed Chi-Chi in that, and stop the comment before you type it. I know there were some editorial problems. It was a mistranslation. Hell, some people have even said that it was also probably due to something about Japanese culture and the stigmatism around kissing, which is true. Japanese anime do have a problem with showing outward bits of affection, especially when it comes to kissing. Kissing is rare as well as hugging. Okay, that's just a thing. That's just a culture thing. Moving on. So when Goku says, I never even kissed Chi-Chi, I could totally see Chi-Chi being one of those limp bistic lovers who just lays there in the bed, tells Goku to fuck her for about 5 minutes, lets him come, and then boom, makes baby. I do not see her as the type of girl who actually, gets involved. I bet Chi-Chi doesn't even think women can orgasm. No, I mean it. I really do think Chi-Chi is that much of a limp biscuit, wet towel, old fogey that she doesn't believe in romance in the marriage. She just believes marriage and that she should be barefoot and pregnant. My God, every single minute I read with this woman. And I want to remind you people, me taking my anger Chi-Chi this seriously, it's just as silly as this, Vic. It's just as stupid. Dad! See Hollywood Ox King. The giant peeked his head around the corner. Can you take Gohan to the store and get some things for me? She continued, providing a list of groceries she needed. Ox King could sense a bit of tension in the air and read the unspoken message that his daughter was communicating. Thus, he nodded in response. In a few minutes, he and Goten were out the door, leaving the couple to talk in private. Chi-Chi, what's going on? There has to be more to the story for Gohan to be acting like this. Chi-Chi sighed deeply as she leaned on the counter, looking down. The discussion was really happening, wasn't it? Goku, when you last left year, he changed. She had faced him. You know that for a majority of his childhood you have been gone, as you witnessed last night. That's taken a toll on him. Your departure last year, out of the blue... Wait a sec! Let me do some calculations here. Okay, just did the calculations, and Goku was technically only gone for about 3 years of Gohan's life. He's been there for about 8 of those, not including his teenage years. But his childhood practically ends thanks to us calling him Teen Gohan at 11. So frack you. As you witnessed last night, that's taking a toll on him. Your departure last year out of the blue seemed to trigger something in him, as if he had enough. Her voice remained rather cold as she was saying this. but the truth is she had temporarily detached herself from the situation to build up her mental stamina. This had not been an easy time for the Sun family. Goku was silent. He was thinking. Based on what was said earlier, he knew Gohan would have to talk to him, but the events of last night changed that. Still, he thought, his son would have to have a talk with him eventually. He just had to let Gohan cool down, right? It was almost as Chi-Chi was reading his mind. So he walked towards the windowsill, standing out into the wilderness with her arms slightly crossed. I don't know, Goku. So much has changed. A week after the tournament when he told us how he felt, I've never seen him so upset. I've never seen him being such a whiny crybaby, but... You're a bitch. Yeah, Vegeta. She began to mumble that last of the sentence as she thought about the previous night. However, she managed to quickly carry on. He told us he was determined never to see or speak to you again. Then Elkoten and I managed to talk to him and convinced him to change his mind. His views had finished, but we felt progress was being made. She had turned away from the window to face her husband again. That is until last night, when everything unraveled. Goku let out a sorrowful sigh as he put his head down in shame. He deeply regretted his behavior and wished he could go back and make things right. Again, all this just feels so out of character for Goku, and when you start making people feel out of character, it feels like you're trying to push in your characterizations into them. And it just doesn't work. Once you start doing that, you lose the plot for me. He muttered, not really knowing what else to say. It's not really meant to be heard, but he just needed to get it out. He knew that simply apology was not going to make things better, but he didn't know what else to do right now. He felt limitless, powerless. Goku! Chi-Chi started again, without also knowing what to say. So her eyes started to well up from grief, from anger. So Chi-Chi! In response, he looked up at her with his own eyes. They stared at each other for a few moments, and Chi-Chi began to feel his regret. This caused her cold complexity to give away sympathy. Vic, it's Chi-Chi. She has none of that. Chi-Chi is an angry, all the time, worthless piece of shit character that really should have been ditched with the rest of Toriyama's savings! She said again in a soothing voice as she approached him. Then after a brief pause, she embraced him in a hug. Oh my god! Chi-Chi actually can show affection? I am shocked! Who is this changeling and what has she done with Chi-Chi? Goku slowly put his arms around her as he nestled his head next to hers. Nothing was said while the two held each other. Neither of them could remember the last time they felt so connected. Well, it is Chi-Chi, and I bring you back to my earlier statement of how Chi-Chi is a cold-hearted bitch who, quite frankly, her methods, her MOs, and the rest of her ideology should have been left in the 50s with the rest of the trash! Chi-Chi. Goku, he said softly, breaking the silence. She looked down. What am I going to do? She hesitated in her response. This was a problem she did not know how to solve. I don't know, Goku. I just don't know. Like I said, I've never seen Gohan this upset. I know he doesn't think this is about him, though. When he first talked to us when we got to the tournament, he mentioned he did not want Pan to experience the same thing he did. But in being selfish like he is making her experience the same thing he did. As you know, he mentioned it last night as well. Past year's been increasingly protective of her. Too protective, if you ask me. He looked away from him, back towards the window. We both know his life's not been easy. He wants to make sure that neither of his children have a childhood like he's had. Goku now was forming a better picture of the situation. As that picture came into clearer focus, the more he realized just how circumstances and decisions from his past had formed the present situation. He sat down in a nearby chair, feeling remorse. I've made some big mistakes, haven't I? He asked rhetorically. Once I could talk to him, make him understand I'm sorry. Chi-Chi sat down in a chair beside him, rested her hand on his. Let's give it some time. Was her yesterday and still very fresh. He's been feeling hurt. Goku looked up at her. I'm sorry, Chi-Chi. Those puppy dog eyes have been stolen her heart again, as she began to pity for her husband. Then she was saying just way Goten did. I know. At the Sun household, nothing much was said during the rest of the day. Atsuki and Goten returned from the store, and shortly thereafter, Atsuki, sensing that this was the time the family needed to be alone, said his goodbyes and left them to their peace. However, even in his absence, silence pervaded the home. Eventually, dinner time rolled around. While setting the table, Chi-Chi had laid down 5 placemats. After months of eating both of her sons, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter, she had become accustomed to setting a table for 5. Also, until she started setting the cuts down, she realized her mistake. Besides, she started to collect the extra dishes. 1, 2, 3. She stopped herself. Her husband was here now. That meant she only needed to take away 2, not 3. She hesitated for a moment before putting the 3rd back. Once everything was ready, she announced that dinner was served. As the trio seated themselves, quiet once again saturated the atmosphere. Besides the occasional "can you pass the rice" and comments on the great taste of food, everything remained rather mute. Eventually, Goten realized he couldn't stand the silence. So, what happens now? He asked, causing a somewhat startled reaction from his parents. The question came without warning. Yet it is what they were all thinking. Goku looked at his wife and remained silent. She was expecting him to answer. He hesitated as he tried to search for the right words. I guess time will only tell. Right now, we have to give your brothers some space. That's it? Goten asked, expecting more from his parents. It's all we can do right now. Goku responded, What about Oob? Goten spoke without thinking about the implications the question might have. Goku looked up and thought about this. Nonchalantly, he started thinking out loud. Well, he still has a lot more training to go through. I guess we could train during the day, and I could teleport back here during the evening. Or he could stay up with us, and... Yeah, why doesn't he? I mean... You could easily make it a day job, you can teleport instantly, I mean... My god, you have super speed and you can teleport, what's stopping you from doing that? Hell, how much more training does Oob need? You got through your training in 6 months with Mutant Roshi. I don't think you need any more. I mean, really? Not to mention there's the whole Rune Spirit. Time. There are a lot of options you could pull off. If anybody had any brains on this show, you could easily solve some of this without any problems. But, let me guess. Chi-Chi is about to do her usual. Her son and husband stopped and looked at her when Chi-Chi slammed her chopsticks down on the table. Damn it, Goku! There we go! She yelled. How could he say that, she thought. Everything's happened. Had he not learned anything? Was he really that dense? You still don't get it, do you? She continued to yell as she felt, in a sense, betrayed. What about everything that was said earlier that day? Before Goku responds, she continued. Why do you think this is happening? Because you're more dedicated to your training than your family. Chi-Chi, you're about to set me off. Goku looked at her confused. But Chi-Chi, I said I'd be back during the evening. I would just teleport between here and there. Okay, it was cut off. And what if something happened that I needed to get in touch with you during the day? Am I supposed to teleport to you? Chi-Chi! I swear to God, you keep this up! He hadn't had an answer because he hadn't thought about it. Why you don't show up at all? How many times did you train weren't you set some time? You've been late. Simply never showed up for things we already said in advance. You mean that one filler episode, you bitch? This afternoon, I believe you were sorry for everything that happened. I'm really sorry, Goku. You will learn that this is about Gohan. It's about you and the choices you continue to make. Every chance you get, you choose training over family, even in times of peace. Chi-Chi, shut your whore mouth! Right now, you piece of shit! My god! People complain about Sakura, but you know, Sakura works with children. She helps kids. So she's useful. Bulma is useful. Freaking Keiko is useful. Yuria from Fist of the North Star is useful. Arena, who only has about a few chapters of screen time is more useful than you'll ever be, you mangy, low-class piece of the razor droppings! You make me sick. You really do. When we first see you in Dragon Ball, you had a lot of potential. You had a cool weapon, you had lasers, and then later on, you actually showed you could fight. Well, not on the same level as Goku, you had martial arts. You could actually fight. You seemed to understand that Goku was a fighter. But then, after the time skip that led to Dragon Ball Z, somebody took your spine, ripped it out, and threw it away permanently. Because then you started leading off with this whole entire bullshit of, well, the world's all peaceful now. I don't need to train Gohan. Shut up. What, did you really expect nothing was big was coming? You really think nothing bad was about to happen? Chi-Chi, if you really were a dedicated woman in your marriage, you would have realized, yes, my husband loves to train. My husband loves to fight. And rather than being so stupid, you would have set an hour or two to train with Goku. Engaged in his likes. Helped him with his likes. Been with him during his training. And actually gotten stronger yourself. You will have learned how to fly by now. But no, you chose not to. You chose not to learn to fly. Which apparently is something so easy, even somebody who's not a Z-Fire, high Fidel, can learn. No, you instead told Goku to go get a job. You told Goku to go learn how to drive. All because you couldn't get off your lazy 1950s ass! And do you know why you do this, Chi-Chi? Because you were meant to be a one-note gag character for Toriyama. Toriyama just wanted to use you for a few minutes and then destroy you away. Just the way your screen time was supposed to be. But no, you kept showing up again and again and again, showing the world just how useless of a love interest you really are! This is why I shake my head when people complain about Kagome and Sakura. This is why I just shake my head in shame. Because all of them contribute more to the plot, to the story, than you ever will, Chi-Chi! Because Sakura actually felt bad about not being able to catch up with her husband, so she trained. Kagome actually learned how to snipe. What have you done, bitch? Oh, that's right. You've done nothing. You have done nothing but whine, bitch, complain, and moan. Oh, my son should need to be a scholar. He doesn't need to learn how to fight. In a world where fighting is more important, I think he does. But, you know what? I know what some people are going to go, but Gohan doesn't like to fight. And you're right, he doesn't. So you know what would have been a good alternative? For Chi-Chi to give Gohan weight training. Or at least tell Gohan to let him learn self-defense. Because once he realized that Gohan was going to fight anyway, teach him some helpful lessons about learning to fight when it's necessary. That would have shown her to be a good mother. That would have shown her to be supportive of Gohan. But instead, no. And let's not forget, this is the same bitch who practically just blew off Goku when he was in the hospital. No, there is no romance between these two. I have seen so many anime female love interests actually feel bad about this. And how they actually want to try to get better. Chi-Chi does none of that. She just expects everything to be handed to her on hand and foot. So, to answer your question, Chi-Chi, you want to know how you would get in communication with Goku? It's called a cell phone! Look it up! Oh, but that's not good enough for you, your highness. How about you sit down, and rather than bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch, you instead get a cell phone or an alarm clock. Hell, during that whole dinosaur party, that time when Goku was spent with the dinosaurs rather than going in that big party, which, I really don't get why they had it in the first place. You could have taken your sons and your family out on a wonderful party with them. Because, you know what? A good wife would volunteer and do stuff for her husband. And I know what you're saying, but Bulma doesn't do that. Bulma isn't a fighter, is she? She's a technical girl. And you want to know what she does to spend time with her husband? Oh, she builds some stuff. She actually works with her husband and gives him a chance to do things. What does Chi-Chi do for this relationship? Actually, let's think about her in comparison to all the other anime relationships out there. What does Chi-Chi offer? Does she offer support? No. Is she like Goku's chief, being able to hold him back? No. Is she his equal? No. What is she? She's there. That's it. As much as I'm a Bulma and Vegeta fan I am, if Dragon Ball had any type of logic or sense, or had any type of following, they would have gone for a Goku and Bulma romance. There, I said it. I mean, here's Bulma and Vegeta shipper, but when you think about it, the Chi-Chi and Goku ship makes no freaking sense whatsoever. So, fuck you, Chi-Chi. Yeah. And her husband will have to choose. Why? He could still train. Just put up a little training equipment, Chi-Chi. Oh, I forgot. That's too much to ask from you. Fuck you, bitch.